Mortgage applications are down by almost 45% as of the filming of this video. That's a lot. That is a lot. Can we all agree? Also, as of the filming of this video, interest rates are 6.4%. Still a little bit high. Not terribly high, but still higher than what we like to see them. So I always say here on this channel that if you see the interest rates, the mortgage interest rates on a conventional loan sitting around, 5.75, maybe a little bit higher than that, that's a number that if you need a loan, you should really take that a little bit seriously, because I could imagine a world where we don't see a number much lower than that. Maybe 5.5, but I don't think we're going to see 3s, 4s. It's just not sustainable. And for those of us that have come up through the ranks when the interest rates, you can remember when they were 10%, 12%, and we thought that was pretty good because we had seen numbers that were up around 15, 16, 17%. So when I look at it on that curve, is 6.5-ish bad? No, it's not terrible. Would I like to see it in the 5s to balance it out a little bit better because of everything else that's going on globally in our world, meaning inflation, everything is up. Food is higher, gas is a little bit higher, cost of living is much higher. So you have to kind of look at things in that way. You can't just say, if the interest rate comes down, all of our problems are solved, because that is absolutely not the case. So on that note, I want to talk about how that relates to Naples, Florida. Does it matter at all what the interest rate is? If the interest rates are 4%, does that affect the real estate market in Florida? You know what? Maybe not. All right, so if you're new to the channel, let me introduce myself. I want to say hello. My name is Barrett Pastor, and I've been a real estate broker for over 26 years. So hopefully I'm coming to you from a place of knowledge and experience, and I can help you navigate all things Florida. And I also want to let you know that if you're interested in a consultation, I will leave a link right here and down below in the description box. Grab some time on my calendar and we can talk about Florida, figure out what the right timing is for you. Maybe you're 1 year out, 3 years out, 5 years out, and you want to start to zone in on an area that can work for you. You've been all over the internet and you're confused. You don't know what area fits your needs the best. Book some time down on my calendar and we'll get it figured out. All right, so let's talk about Naples, Florida for a minute. Does the interest rate really have any effect at all on Naples, Florida? So the reason that I am specifying Naples, Florida is because it really is its own little unique area. There's a lot of wealth there for sure, and Florida as a whole is definitely expensive, but there are areas that are more expensive than others. And I would say that Naples is probably on the curve of being one of the most expensive areas of Florida. Top 5 for sure. Anyway, but here's the unique phenomena with Naples, Florida. It is predominantly a cash market. Most people that come to Naples, Florida to buy are going to buy with cash. Now you might say, who has $500,000? So if you watch my videos, you know the average home sale is over $500,000, the average. So who has $500,000 in cash laying around in a drawer somewhere? You would be surprised, let me tell you. But here's the thing. Cash is not always like stacks of money. You know what I mean? Cash might be that you're moving from Boston and you took a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, out on your house, and you come down to Naples and now you're cash. So it doesn't have to be like real cash. It could be that you've got a self-directed IRA and that's going to appear to be cash. It could be some stock or whatever it may be that you're cashing in to come by with cash. So I guess a better way to put it is that most people that buy in Naples, Florida are buying with some form of what ultimately is cash. Not many people. I haven't done an FHA deal in Naples, Florida. I would tell you in my entire career, less than 5. less than 5 FHA deals. Why? Well, first of all, there is a cap on the limit of what somebody can spend FHA, and it's pretty high. I mean, in Collier County and Lee County, it's pretty high. I know that it's in that $500,000 mark. I don't know the exact number. You can look it up. Like I said, I've done maybe 5 in my career in Florida. It's just not common. And I think the reason is that most people use FHA because they want a lower down payment, and we just don't have that much. Like I said, it's a cash heavy market. Also, inventory is through the roof. We have an abundance of inventory here in Naples, Florida. Florida as a whole does, but specific to Naples, Florida, there is an abundance of inventory. Now, are there some areas where there isn't? Like, for example, if you're somebody that's coming from up north and you want to find a big newer home on the Gulf of Mexico, toes in the sand, and your budget is $1 million, can you find that? No, you cannot. You're not even close. You're not even on the target at all. There are some things that are just not available, period. And if you come down here with the expectation of something that doesn't really exist, then it doesn't matter if the interest rate was 1% because it's not there. So as a whole, we have a ton of inventory. Condos, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, condos, 2 bedrooms with a den, tons of single family homes, abundance of inventory. And the very odd phenomena is that prices are not yet coming down the way that we want them to. Now, community to community, there are some communities that are seeing a large walk back. A lot of communities in the ballpark of like 30%. Some communities are seeing a 30% drop, 40% drop. Not all of them, though. There are many communities that are holding strong. So some of the communities that are really holding strong in terms of pricing are non-HOA communities. There's been a lot of people lately that want a no HOA community. They want to be able to put a garden. They want to be able to put a shed up. They want to be able to put a fence up. They don't want people telling them what they can and can't do. So lately that has been a hot seller. But if you're looking for the typical run-of-the-mill 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool and a gated community, listen, they're everywhere. If you have budget, they're everywhere. So remember, average sale price is above $500,000. I just put a video out on this. I think it was like $540,000, right in that range. So if you're in that bread and butter price point, and I know that's a lot of money. Listen, I get it. But if that is what the average is, that's going to be what we would call the bread and butter price point. There's a lot of those available. And listen, as an aside, you can't compare prices to what they were during COVID. That was a balloon that went up quickly and it was not sustainable. We all knew that eventually little holes were going to appear in that bubble, and slowly but surely that was going to come down. On my channel, I have not said there's going to be a one event that creates a crash, because I don't think that's the case. I think it's layer upon layer upon layer, or think of it as hole and another hole and another hole, and eventually you see that start to sink. And that's why I keep saying 2025, because that's what I think we're going to see, those numbers. And I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say it for the back row, because I know there's somebody out there right now typing away that I'm wrong on this. But in my opinion, this is what is going to happen. And I think everything is lining up for this to happen. You just can't. You can't compare pricing to what it was during the pandemic. Now, can we look at numbers pre-pandemic? I'm going to say yes, because I think that's probably where we're going to wind up. The people out there that are screaming 50% less of what everything's selling for in Sarasota, Tampa, Naples, I don't see that. Now, in some communities that were wildly inflated, some communities where the numbers went up by a lot and very quickly, will we see those fall 50%? I think it's very possible. I use Bonita National as an example all the time, so I won't use that one, but I'm going to use Devasta. I'm going to use those, what I call walk communities. So your Island Walk, Verona Walk, Village of Bonita, what's it called? Village Walk of Bonita. those communities, because those are lifestyle communities. If you watch my channel, you know I've talked about during the pandemic, everybody came down here and everybody wanted to golf. I want a bundled golf community. I want to be in equity golf or non-equity golf, like a sort of a country club feel. I want to come down here and golf every day. A lot of people from Michigan, Chicago, New York, they came down, and that was one of their number one things was, I want to be able to golf every single day. Well, when the golfing got locked out and you couldn't find anything, I mean, the prices went crazy. When you are buying in Bonita National, fine, I'm going to say it. When you are buying in Bonita National, a little bitty 2-bedroom, 2-bath golfing condo, they call it. You can only golf a couple times a week if you're lucky because the course is so crowded. And you're paying $400,000 for that? You've got to know that isn't sustainable. It just isn't. So what happened was when the golfing got locked out, people said, okay, fine, I can't golf, I can live with it, then I want everything else I want. I want a lap pool, I want a resort pool, I want to have restaurants in the community. So the way to do that was in these Devasta's a builder, those communities, like I said, I call them walk communities, Island Walk, Village Walk. They're great communities. So those became very popular because they have everything in the community. They have a full-time activities director. They have tennis. They have a great pickleball program. They have lap pool, resort pool. They have at least 2 restaurants, men's club, women's club. They are great, great communities. And guess what, bonus? The fees are low. They're only about $400-ish per month, right in that range. So people flocked to those communities. It's kind of like the B team, you know, the junior varsity. Fine, if I can't have the golfing, I'm going to go to these communities. Well, guess what happened? The prices became obscene. I couldn't believe it. I was showing property one week in these communities, and the villas, you know, the 2-bedroom and a den villas, the 2-bedroom and a den single family homes, we're running, let's say, around $425,000, $450,000, literally overnight, $800,000. Now, is that going to be a 50% reduction? Right now, they're sitting at around 25% as sort of as a whole, but I could see that coming down absolutely for sure. But again, does it matter? Do the interest rates matter? Does that play a part at all in Naples, Florida? All of these things considered. The only means that I see it playing a part is if you have something to sell up north. Because your up north buyer, if you're coming from a primary home market, they may need a loan. And if that stops you, that sale stops you from coming to Naples, Florida, then it would play a part. So outside of Naples, Florida, do the interest rates matter? Yes. But inside of Naples, Florida, not so much. Not so much. Cash market. Buyers that are in a second home marketplace, it is a want and not a need. That's a completely different market than you might be coming from up north. So those are just some important things that I think you have to think about when you're considering this part of the country. So as always, if I can be of any further help or you need any further clarification, all of my contact information is below.